All right, this is Channeling Love Part 2, and here I want to talk about some helpful things that worked for me that maybe this can help you in your spiritual journey. In our spiritual journey, and there are a lot of smarter people than me, so I'm going to use some blanket terms, but there are terms around the world for this. Just as I do a shamanic and mystical practice, these mystical practices are worldwide. So I know there are terms in other mystical practices for this, but what I have noticed is that the human body is capable of channeling many different things. We can channel energy, we can channel all of the different elements, earth, air, fire, water. We can channel the knowledge of spirit, so we can channel spirits and their knowledge. We can channel occult wisdom. We can channel love, which is the absolute energy of bliss and creation. We can channel rage. We can channel destruction. We can channel bitterness. We can channel nihilism. There are so many things that the human body and the mind and the heart can channel. And it is up to us what we decide what we are going to be. That is why when I've always written about magic and I've instructed people in magic, I just tell them that in magic, you are who you choose to be. And who you choose to be creates a level of actions and reactions in you and around you. And I think that's really the karmic field of your soul, and that's what creates your karma. Because the world is reacting basically to who you are. And that is a very complex statement. It's not cut and dry. If you are, let's say, a more loving being than your current culture, you're going to bring up the shadows of a lot of people, and they're going to feel very insecure around you, and they're going to act like children. So you have a certain experience of life that is very different from somebody who cannot channel love. Similarly, if you channel a lot of fury in a world that values fury and violence, you're going to have a much different life than if you channel love. It just is dependent upon the collective, what the collective is capable of, and what the collective consciousness, its patterns are, what its cultural patterns are. This is why some people benefit when they travel to different countries, because the collective culture in another country may actually be more conducive to their energetics than the culture they were born in. This isn't personal. None of these energies are personal. This is us simply navigating in the world. We can choose to stay in a culture that is antithetical to who we are, and that does create waves and ripples. It also creates a tremendous amount of suffering in ourselves. Think of it as if you were an incredibly loving person, empathetic and kind, and you were in a culture that values psychopathy and sociopathy to get ahead, you are going to feel disadvantaged everywhere you go. You are not going to be seen or respected or validated. So it is your choice. Do you stay in that culture, or do you move to a more loving culture? And there could be a point where you find there isn't a more loving culture out there, and you have to decide where you're going to be. And that is all personal. It's personal based. But I think the best thing you can do when you are channeling love and you're growing your capacity to love yourself and love your body and heal your body, because the body can only heal with love. It can't heal with intellectualization. You can channel all the wisdom and the knowledge of the ancients, and it won't heal your body. You can channel all the rage and the fury. It will not heal your body. The only thing that heals the body is love. So that's why a lot of people who are called healers are people who channel great amounts of love. Now, this comes at a responsibility, and it comes at a cause and reaction to the people around you. So it's up to you to sit and meditate and figure out, how do you want to act in the world? What kind of relationships do you want to have? How do you protect yourself? Because being somebody who channels a lot of love and healing others, it comes with certain situations. Number one is that the majority of people who are going to come to you, they may not realize it, are using you. So you need to get over the fact that a lot of people use you on a subconscious level, and it's not personal. It's not because they hate you. They may not even realize they're using you. They may not realize that they're using you as a personal stress doll. But what you need to do is take care of yourself in your own body, in your own nervous system, in the aspect of, understanding this dynamic. And it may mean that you take periods of time away from others to recalibrate and reconnect. It may mean that only the people you let closest to you are people who have a strong capacity to channel love. That's okay too. That's something that I had to learn. If somebody shows me that they're taking me for granted and they're treating me poorly, I have to distance myself from them, because being in abuse long term is going to wound my capacity to channel love, and it's going to actually affect my body. So I don't want to get sick from being around cruel and toxic people. So I have to be at a distance from them. It's not personal, it's self-preservation. And one of the things you will learn when you channel love is that your health then becomes tied to your ability to channel. And if people wound your heart enough, they can hurt your health enough. And a lot of people understand this. And because, unfortunately, a lot of people are jealous of healers, for some reason, there is this concept that healing is it's a trait that is desired romantically. So people think that if you have the capacity to heal and channel love, that means that everybody around you wants to sleep with you, and it's not true. I've actually come to a realization that I've actually not been with many people in my lifetime, and I realized I've been shamed a lot sexually by the people around me because of my capacity to love. They just assumed that I was promiscuous. And that is an assumption, because people think that if you have a great capacity of love, that somehow you're overly promiscuous or overly sexual. You're trying to steal their partner. You're trying to seduce people. A lot of people, especially if you're a woman and you have this gift, a lot of men think that your kindness is an invitation towards romance when it's not. A lot of men think that you can be manipulated and used because they also see you as non-intelligent, because a lot of people see love as innocence and intelligence. So they give you kind of a childlike attributes. That's not always true as well. So just know that the reflections and projections that people give to you are actually a reflection of their own wounds. That if somebody sees you as unintelligent because you love well, it is most likely because they do not think that one could be intelligent and loving, which says a lot about their connection between their third eye and their heart. And if somebody thinks that you're promiscuous, it talks a lot about the wounds of their sacral chakra. So just know that a lot of the projections people give to you, it has nothing to do with you. The best thing you do is find loving spaces where you feel safe and you feel loved. And even if that means being alone. And that's the most important